Hello and welcome back, my friends. Today I'm going to be sharing with you one of my all-time favorite crops to grow in a backyard food forest, and that is none other than the Egyptian walking onion. Now, what makes this onion so special is that it's a perennial onion, and it will continue to proliferate in your system year after year after year. Not only does it grow an underground bulb, but it also grows wonderful tasting green onions similar to scallion, and then it has on top of those scallions what's known as bulbettes, small little tiny onions that develop, milder in taste. So there's essentially three parts of this onion that you can utilize: the bulb, the greens, and the bulbettes on top. So here's a little patch of those Egyptian onions right here. We're going to pop it up here in the winter, and we can divide this bunch here and plant these throughout our food forest. And I've got a second bunch here that I dug up yesterday. And here's some more right here at the base of this hugelkultur mound. This is one of my favorite places to grow the Egyptian walking onion. So I like to leave a few in the ground every year because, as you can see, it creates a cluster of these onions that you can then easily separate. Now, just so you know, I started off with a little bunch smaller than this when I first got started years ago, and now every single year I get these free onions growing up all throughout the food forest, a little here, a little there, and then I'll just pick out a couple of those bunches and spread them out. Now, I wouldn't go as far as to say that these onions will take the place of your larger bulb onions, your yellow onions, sweet onions, red onions, but they do make a great complement to the other onions that you may be growing. And why do I say that? Well, you get more of the actual bulb onion from those other varieties. These tend to have a rather small bulb, like they actually don't get much bigger than this, but still, if you harvest 4 or 5 of them, you know, you've got about a half of an onion's worth. And then you can, again, chop up those greens. Then you'll have these little onion bulbettes growing on the top. And here's what one of those bulbettes looks like. And so obviously what happened, because these will grow atop the onion, there'll be 5 to 7 of these. It causes it to become top heavy, topple over, and then these onions begin to root in the soil and walk along throughout your garden in a more mature. So you can also harvest these bulbettes in a more mature plant and plant these as well. So I'm just going to scooch back some of these wood chips and plant some of these onions right at the base here. Some good hugelwood right there. No special attention is required when planting these onions. You don't need to drop any fertilizer, and it doesn't even matter if you got wood chips and other mulch mixed in there. These are going to take off. They're very durable. And we're going to space them about 6 inches apart. You could go closer. These can grow up to about 3 feet tall, although typically they stay in about the 2.5 foot range, and then they begin to topple over because of the bulbette. They're just a wonderful, valuable food crop to grow. Onions can enhance the flavor of so many foods, and to have something that just takes off on its own like this and keeps providing year after year, invaluable these days. So there you have it. In just a couple minutes, I've transferred over a dozen of these onions here along the edge of this hugelkultur mound, ensuring we're going to have these perennial onions growing in our garden for years to come. Now, an additional quick tip is it's a great idea to plant these different plants in the allium family, like the onion, the garlic, around the borders of your garden bed. They can help to repel some of the most common pests that come into the garden that disturb your crops. And it's a great way to utilize the space that would otherwise not be growing anything. So keep that in mind. And I encourage you to look into the Egyptian walking onion. It's a cold hardy perennial species all the way down to USDA Climate Zone 3, and they just make a beautiful addition to your garden design. And so with that, I want to thank you all for watching. Have yourself a great rest of the day. Until next time, this is Dan from plantabundance.com. Take care. I'll be talking to you again soon.